Navigating today's real estate market can be tricky. Want to buy or sell a house, finance or insure a house, or stuck with a house and don't know what to do? Florida Talk Real Estate has been your local one-stop real estate shop since 2012. Get the advice you need from your local real estate pros. Here are your hosts, Jim DePola and Johnny C. live on Real Radio.
It's Saturday morning. Welcome to another edition. It's Florida Talk Real Estate. We got you for the next 2 hours of infotainment. Of course, I see you out there, 92.1, 101.7. Great to be there. And very nice knowing you're there. Of course, we're live streaming. I don't know if you're live streaming with us currently, how I look, but we'll sort through that because I was very tardy today. But of course, you can join the stream, see how tardy I look. Facebook, Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook. On YouTube as well, that's Florida Talk Real Estate LLC, home of a ton of informational chunk videos, plus our live stream on a Saturday. Of course, if you got your free download, your iHeartRadio app, you are worldwide. You can be a part of the program toll free, 877-927-6969. Dive into the conversation at hand. If you have a question, comment, concern in the world of real estate, use it. The first voice you hear, the weekend birthday boy over here. He's the St. Patty's Day birthday boy. It's Jimothy, our producer extraordinaire, my brother from another mother.
Hello, and good morning, Johnny. How are you today? You don't look tardy.
Well,
do you feel tardy?
Wow, I don't really feel it either, but I hate rushing. I always slide right in, but I'm never rushing.
Yeah, I heard that about you.
Yeah.
By the way, you want to lift your camera up a little bit.
Up. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll get to that in a
facing
second.
it. Yeah,
I'll tell you what. I'll do that in just a second.
All right.
Good to see you, my brother.
Good to see you as well, Johnny. Thank you so much.
I'm Johnny C., your old buddy, your old pal. Let's get to your starting lineup here on a Saturday morning. Your mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. That's Mike Rauch. He's right there. Hello.
Good morning.
How are you?
Yeah, I don't know if it's tardy if you made it before the bell. You know,
That's a good point.
You were just like sitting down as the bell rang.
It's a great point, actually, because you are present at the time that you're supposed to be there.
I'm not sure when Jim started the cameras, but they might have got a nice view as you were adjusting your chair. You know, yeah.
Thank you for that.
Chair.
You're welcome.
But good morning.
Good
Hello.
morning. Always nice to see you.
Oh, yeah.
Always great to say good morning and nice to see Ross Komarinetz with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. Ross, how are you?
Well, good to see you, man.
Oh, here you go.
And yes, you were tardy. On time is 5 minutes early.
Okay, so
So
that's the other perspective,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
My mother-in-law would tell me I was way late.
Yeah.
Like way
Yeah, like
late.
4 minutes and 54 seconds.
if you're not early, you're late.
If she's not 20 minutes early, she's late.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people nodding their head right now going, yes, sir, that's more appropriate.
That was something when I started, going to other countries. It was very U.S. Or maybe I don't know where, but different than South America as far as like what determines something being late
Oh,
or when you should get somewhere.
right.
Show up to the party on time.
So you're
No.
saying some of those like
it's just a suggestion.
Yeah, suggested starting time
some of those like pseudo racist feeling perspectives are actually true,
based in fact.
based in fact. Right. It all started.
I hope they didn't
somewhere.
come off that way.
No, I don't think it did.
Yeah.
No, but I think we all.
I think it's more of a state of mind than it is, So it's
Oh.
like late. What is that word?
Come on.
What is late? Who's late? We're early.
Yeah. What is
What are
time?
you talking about?
What is time? Let's get to our fearless leader on a Saturday. Every Saturday for over 13 years now. Well, it's a slight exaggeration because we do miss a few Saturdays a year, but most Saturdays for over 13 years now. I've told you he runs a top producing Keller Williams team, the Florida Home Pros at Keller Williams Innovations. You'll find Jim DePola. There's Jimmy D. How you be?
Hey, I'm doing good, guys. Happy South Florida, everybody. Enjoying this Saturday. The weather's pretty nice today. Remember last week, I think it was in the 50s when we were coming down here, right?
It was chillier.
Yes. And it was 20 degrees higher on the way down this time. So that was pretty cool.
Was it 50,
And
50 last weekend on your way
I
in?
thought it was like 52 when we came in, no?
Yeah, it was
I think it might have
cool
been
morning.
that morning, but by
Yeah.
the time we were coming out, it was
Probably
warming up.
in the 70s
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
It's supposed to be
But-
81 today, though. Beautiful day.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
No rain.
Did anybody catch that moon the last couple nights?
Yeah,
Beautiful.
real nice.
Not
Oh, my
intentionally,
gosh.
but I saw the
Yeah.
moon. Full moon,
Yeah,
right?
that was pretty
Anybody
crazy.
see it at like 3 a.m. when it was all red?
Oh,
Beautiful.
one of those.
I didn't see it then, but I saw it when it was red. I was just going to say I thought it was only red during the beginning of it, like last night. I guess it was around 7 or something. I'm guessing.
I think at 2 or 3 there was
They
a lunar
changed color
eclipse.
again.
The
There was
eclipse
a
Ah.
lunar
really
eclipse.
made it. Yeah,
Wow,
brilliant,
because
yeah.
it was still very red. When it was coming up past the horizon.
So that would have been 3 a.m. yesterday morning.
Yeah, I think I only know that because Tiffany mentioned like, "Hey, you're going to be up for the eclipse." 'Cause, I mean, there's a chance that I'm up
Yep.
at 2, 3 in the morning. Wouldn't be unheard of. But
Not because
No.
of, but not
Right.
because of the
Right.
eclipse, right? You might be up, but not because of the eclipse.
Yeah, I know people that set an alarm, and
Yeah.
hey, bless
Yeah.
them. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. Not me. I got more like 2 more hours.
Well, but
I'm getting up at 5:30. No, I'm
was
getting those
this-
2 hours.
Was this like a once every
I don't know.
50-year type moon style thing?
No, so I'm
the
not going to
harvest,
even.
the
I'm not
red-
going to pretend to be that knowledgeable.
Oh, okay.
I don't think
All right.
lunar eclipses aren't that rare.
Yeah, I think it was more like a combination of a blue harvest, red sun,
Right.
moon,
Right.
Yeah. It was.
full wave. Right,
it was-
Ross would know about
Ross
it.
would totally know.
So I'm more. I'm
It
not really a
impacts the
moon.
waves.
I'm more in the rain, like purple rain.
Okay. When does that happen?
I think it's scheduled for October this year.
This year.
Chocolate rain.
That's funny.
Nice.
Old school. I think we've brought that up before.
Which one?
The chocolate rain.
Oh, chocolate rain?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see now you're going down a rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah.
Purple rain into chocolate rain. That's
Yeah.
not how we start a Saturday.
This week we're going to talk about a lot of different stuff this week. That CPI Consumer Price Index report came out, and the New York Times puts out the chart showing based on individual products whether the inflation went up or down on that specific product. So I always like doing that quiz with you guys. So today, this week we're going to do that report. We're also going to talk about mortgage rates because I think there's some newsworthy stuff going on over there, and we'll talk about that real quick. Jobs report came out. Want to talk about that because it was kind of interesting on the headlines we saw on the jobs report. And also, again, for like a bunch of times, apparently, the state legislator's been pushing for many, many times over a couple of decades to make Florida a no-fault to change from a no-fault car insurance place to a at-fault car insurance place.
Mhm.
And I thought we'd just talk a little bit about that with Ross, just real quick about that kind of stuff. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the real estate market, like how big the inventory is right now as part of that whole crashing market thing. So we got a lot to talk about.
The whole
this week.
crashing market thing. Yikes.
Yeah, that people are saying there's whole crashing market. It's good that AJ just said hello on our Facebook page. Good morning, AJ. Thank you so much. We're actually going to be using your stats that you had on Facebook that I saw just a couple of days ago. His, AJ is the experiencedappraisers.com, and he's been analyzing what's going on in the local market here, neighborhood by neighborhood, as he's doing appraisals just to see what's really happening, not just what the, market watchers are saying.
Mhm.
So he has some really interesting perspective on the increasing inventory, and I thought we'd take a look at that. And then, of
Cool.
course, we're going to get him on air and talk about it in another time.
Excellent.
Let me see what else. I feel like I'm missing something here. I'm sorry, guys.
While you take a
Hold
peek,
on.
you want to take a quick phone call out the gates?
Oh yeah, I didn't even see. That would be awesome if we could do that.
Let's do it. What you got there?
I would love that.
We have Chris calling, and he has an open house
Oh,
that he
that's
wants
right.
to talk about. And
That's
Chris,
That's what I was forgetting.
Oh,
I was
there it
forgetting
is.
what it was.
How could you forget
How
Chris?
could I forget Chris? Yes, exactly. Hey, Chris.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. I just stepped on Johnny, so I just
No,
screwed
you're
up another
good.
thing.
Absolutely.
This is Chris Peterson from Keller Williams Innovation. Chris is on my team, and he's going to be doing 2 open houses this weekend, and I'm really excited to talk about both of them. Chris, which one do you want to start with first?
Let's go ahead and start with the Palm Beach Gardens house today, since that's this morning.
Okay, cool. So that's going to be 286 Holly Drive in Palm Beach Gardens. This is a 6-bedroom, 2-bath home. It's a true 6-bedroom, so it's kind of unusual. It's in a really great neighborhood of a pocket, I should say, of Palm Beach Gardens. There's no HOA. There's 3 highly rated schools. I don't want to say they're all 3 are A rated, I think 2 are A rated and 1's B rated, but all highly rated schools that you could walk to, middle, elementary, and high school walk to.
Sweet.
There's a park across the street. Um, Half the people have a boat in the yard because it's just that kind of neighborhood where everybody's just really outside all the time and doing stuff. And just really great neighborhood.
You either have a boat or want a boat.
Want a boat. And what's great is our lot, if you just change around the fencing a little bit, the driveway is already set up where you can put your boat in the backyard or the
Nice.
RV in the backyard, and it's got a really nice oversized lot. Chris, what were the key things that you saw from the property that you thought struck out to you?
Yeah, so for me, the best part about this house, I think, if driving around different neighborhoods, you always find there's that one house which is like the anchor of the neighborhood, and it's the house that just kind of it stands out in a different way, and that's what this property is. And I think for me, it was a couple of things, because number one, the lot is spectacular. There's so much space. Like you said, easy to put in a boat or an RV. It's ready to go. You didn't even mention the fact that it's got a giant pool in the backyard as well.
Mhm.
And but the house just it's kind of on this corner lot, and so you drive by it, but it's not a traditional corner. But it just stands there with such prominence, and so as you drive by, you're like, wow, that's a beautiful house, and it just really stands out in the neighborhood. So I think it's that for me, that's what it was. And then on top of it, there's a lot of space in this house too. It's about right around 2,000 square feet interior livable space. 6 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and it's ready for a family to move in and really love it, because it's a fantastic property.
Yes, and this house was actually under contract, and the deal fell apart because the buyer couldn't get the financing.
Mm.
And we were done. We had the title, the appraisal, the inspection. The house was ready to close, and then at the last minute, the lender yanked the financing from the buyer. So this house, I can disclose, is actually under the list price of what we had it under contract for at the appraised value.
Mm.
So there's some value here for anybody that's looking to buy the house. A couple other things I love is that it's got that really large circular driveway in the front, so that you have plenty of places to park. And the other thing is, Chris, can you do me a favor? Could you, when you go over there this time, could you measure the deep end of the pool, how deep it is? One of the
Yeah,
agents
sure, I
that
can do
we
that.
had called and asked us if that's an 8 or 9 foot deep pool,
Hmm.
because those older pools back then, they were 8 feet deep. Built. This is a 1974, 73 house, I think.
A
In
true
fact,
8 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, and when they said 8 feet, they meant 8 feet and probably a little bit higher, right? A little bit deeper. So some people really love that. I did. I remember growing up in Florida, and that's all that
Having
there
a
was
deep
out
end.
here. Oh, it's so awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody had a diving board, right? You
Oh,
can't do
yeah.
diving boards anymore,
Slides.
right? The
Yeah,
Nobody says
slides.
slides.
Yeah. So
Kids will never know.
so if you could take a measurement of that deep end pool, and that's the other thing I love about that house. It's a 1970s pool, and I know that sounds counterintuitive because it's older, but they just don't build them like that anymore, right?
Now, do
And-
you measure? He's measuring down to or up to the pool edge,
Yeah.
like the coping or whatever you would
Yeah.
call that, or the water line.
Just do the.
Because
Just
you're talking about the
do
difference between
top.
8 and 9 feet. It could be it right there.
See, Chris, what I have to deal with Mike all the time,
True.
the analytical guy.
But you said that you didn't say like, hey, is that a 4 foot or an 8 foot? You said is it 8 or 9 feet? I mean that's a big.
My water
distinction.
line's
No,
probably
what I
like,
said
yeah,
was
like
is that-
7 inches lower than my tile line. The top
Chris,
line.
Yeah, well,
Chris,
that's
you're with
true.
me, right?
Tell you what, I'll take both measurements.
There you
for you.
Boom.
That's thorough.
There
Thank you,
go.
Chris. Thanks, Chris.
And then you could put your real estate magic on that, Jim. He'll give you 2 measurements, and you figure out which one sells the best.
A couple other things that's really awesome about the house is that it's got a newer roof. I think it's 2020, Chris.
That is correct. 2020 brand. new
Yeah,
roof. So
awesome,
it's,
awesome.
good to
And
go
then
from
it's
that
got
perspective.
some it's got impact windows in the front of the house and panels for everything else. So it's in excellent condition, really good value. If somebody's looking for all those bedrooms, this is one of the opportunities there.
So when was this house built?
I think, Chris, do you know?
It was built in 1964.
Oh, 64. I thought it was 74. So 64. And CBS, okay. But back then in CBS on the second story, they always had wood frame. They didn't have CBS all the way up like they do sometimes now. But they don't even do that now on all the houses. Even some of the new construction houses, they'll put wood on the second story and CBS on the bottom.
Mm.
So, Chris, what time are you going to be there? From what time today?
Yeah, I'll be there from 11 o'clock this morning until 2 o'clock this afternoon. So anyone that's interested, come on by and take a look and introduce yourself.
That's awesome. 286 Holly Drive in Palm Beach Gardens. Got to check it out. Really,
Great location.
yeah, great location. Chris, then you got a busy weekend because you're going to be doing an open house on Sunday, correct?
I do. That is correct. So Sunday, I'm heading over to Singer Island. We've got a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo that is just fabulously renovated. It's a fully renovated condo. It is right on the water. You're just steps away from panoramic intercoastal views. There's a boat dock with the property. It's just it's ready for someone to come in and it's move-in ready. It's turnkey. And just bring your boat and your clothes and your furnishings and off you go. Start enjoying that intercoastal waterway.
It sounds like if you're living on the intercoastal in a condo that's just brand new everything, fully renovated with a boat dock, it sounds like that's going to be expensive. How much is this on the market for?
So this one is for $559,000. So it's actually a very great opportunity for that particular area. Yeah.
Yeah, under 600,000, and you get a boat dock.
That's huge.
With the house, and the house is fully renovated. The owners did a really great job. They have large porcelain tile throughout the house that really gives it a sleek feel. They opened up the kitchen. They have a waterfall island now. Do you know what I'm talking about with the waterfall? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I do.
That's where the countertop goes down the side, like the stone goes down the side.
Continues
down the side. Yeah, they call it the waterfall.
Right.
So they've done all the modern upgrades to the house. There's nothing you have to do to this house at all. You just move your furniture in and enjoy. And you get a boat dock, and I think you could put a 22-foot boat in there, right? Right, Chris?
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. It's a 25-foot dock space, but they say it accommodates a 22-foot boat.
Okay, awesome. And it's a very great community. It's really well run. The community looks very, very tight, as far as the looks of it and everything. It seems to be in compliance with all the regulations because there are a couple 3-story buildings in there. And it's actually much bigger community than you think it is when you pull in. You go pretty far. It's pretty far east to west, isn't it, Chris? I mean, when you pull in, you think you're going to be right at the intercoastal, but you're probably driving more than a quarter mile.
Yeah, at least, yeah, if not more. It's you feel like you drive forever to get back in there, but it's well worth the drive because you're right on top of the water there, and it feels amazing. So yeah, it's a great property. The other thing I would say is that the association has been going through all of the exterior refinishing. The roofs on the buildings are being replaced as well. So there's nothing that this condo is going to need, most likely.
Right. There's no pop-up surprises probably coming in the future for them.
Right.
So that's one of the things.
No.
And what time are you going to be there Sunday, Chris?
Sunday, I will be there the same time, starting at 11 a.m. and be there until 2 p.m.
That's awesome. Now, Sugar Sands, 1030 Sugar Sands Boulevard. And when you go into Sugar Sands, there's no gate, so you can just drive in. There's no issue getting there. Correct. So if you want to have a nice Sunday drive and take a drive over to Singer Island, a beautiful day like this, why not? And then go out and say hello to Chris and see what's going on. And take a look at this house, especially if you're a boat owner and you're just looking for something that's affordable. This is an awesome opportunity.
Not only affordable, it sounds like it's pretty Mac Daddy though too.
Yeah, but when you think about, you keep thinking intercoastal waterfront views, $559,000, and you get to have a boat, and if you don't even want the boat, you're allowed in that community to sell or rent that dock to anybody else in the community, right? You can't sell to outside people, right? But if you don't want the dock, you could sell it and make the unit even less expensive, right, by selling the dock.
Yeah,
So,
and that's prime. That's right next to the inlet.
Yeah, it's right there. It's right
It
there. It's a small thing. They're like on almost the corner unit on a small finger canal, right on the large end of the intercoastal. It's pretty nice.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Chris, do me a favor, will you? Sell those units. Okay, sell them. I need you to sell them. Okay.
We'll get it done.
Okay, awesome, man. I'll be calling you later today. Okay, to catch up on some things.
All right. Sounds great, everyone. Have a great day.
You
Thank
as
you,
well.
Chris.
Thank you for the phone call. Are we going to have details on both those open houses on Florida Talk Real Estate Facebook page?
Yes, they're on the Facebook page. Chris has done a couple of videos on them too. So if you want to just kind of grab a look real quick before you go out there.
Excellent.
And even if you're not interested in those properties, but you're interested in real estate, stop by, say hello to Chris. We'll get you going. On Monday, I'll give you a call and get you going.
What a great place to, chop it up a little bit, get to know.
Yeah, hanging out on the water and just
Pretty
chilling
nice.
out.
This is
Right?
not what I'm looking for. But
Yeah.
This is nice.
Speaking of waterfront condos, congratulations to Shane and Angela. I just put their house under contract. How long was it on the market for? Hold on here a second. We just went under contract on Thursday. Oh man, I was slacking. I thought it was shorter time than this. 15 days, right?
Mm.
15 days on market. We did not get full asking price, but Angela and Shane were okay with that because they've had this house for a long time. It's a condo, I should say. It's a condo in North Palm Beach. It's a little small condo. It's only 720 square feet. It's on the 3rd floor. It's also on the intercoastal, but it doesn't really have intercoastal views from the unit, but you're just surrounded by water and you feel like you're in a ocean or boating environment by being in this community. Rauch, you know this. It's over by Paradise Harbor, over by Jupiter Donuts over there on US 1.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
mom's condo is across
Is
across
over
the
there.
water from that.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yep.
just on the other side.
Yeah, on the other side. So these buildings are really nice. It's a little, I call Pierre de Terre. It's like a little 720 square foot, 1-1. But Shane and Angela Mac Daddy this place, and they just used it as a place to crash. Like they live out west in Palm Beach County. They wanted some place just to chill out. They rented it on and off over time, made a lot of money on the rentals, and now they're ready to sell. They're very happy with what they're getting right now. They're selling it furnished. It feels like it almost feels like an Airbnb. Well, it doesn't almost feel like it feels like an Airbnb. You really feel like you're in a vacation home when you walk into this place. It's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So it was only on the market for $250, right? So this is like very inexpensive. So anyway, congratulations to Shane and Angela. Thank you for trusting us to do this. This is, I think, the 3rd transaction or 2nd transaction we've done with them.
Well, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And also shout out to John and Joanna. We put their property in Aberdeen under contract. It's a 2-2 villa with a den. And we put the house under contract. It's a 55 over community. But over there, you pay $65,000 just to join the community, to be part of the golf and active lifestyle membership they have over there. They have like 6 restaurants and 2 professional golf courses and tennis courts and pickleball courts and any kind of activity you almost want to do. They have it all there for you. So it's like a one-stop place. You don't even have to leave there hardly except to go get grocery shopping. But you can do that online now.
True.
So you don't have to leave there ever if you don't want to. So anyway, congratulations to John. Looking forward to get that one done for you. And let me see here. Let me see. Okay. The next, I just want to see one more thing. I'm sorry.
FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Yes, and also wanted to do a shout out to Lorraine. Lorraine had a property with a detached building on it, and we put it under contract last week, had the inspection. Now we're waiting just to go ahead and close. The person buying it is kind of interesting. They're more interested in the building and the lot than they are the house itself. The house is only like 1,175 square foot, 2-2. Needs a little bit of work, but it's in good shape. It isn't like it's a dump or anything like that, but it's small. But that lot is awesome. It's very secluded, even though that your neighbors, it's an 1.37 acre lot, but it's so vegetated, it's so secluded out there. You feel like you're like in your own private tropical rainforest over there. And it isn't that it's overgrown or anything. It's just lots of plants. I was talking to the buyer that's buying the property, and he was like, each one of those they have like palm trees that line the whole 1.37 acre property. And he goes, if you had to buy those plants at that maturity age, they'd be at least $300 a piece. He's like, you got like $30,000 of plants just along the fence line, not including everything else. So really looking forward to getting that deal done. Everything's looking pretty good so far. We're waiting for an appraisal to come back and we're good. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We negotiated all that and it was all done. So congratulations to Lorraine. And we're just waiting for the closing date now on that one.
Knock on wood.
Yep. Knock on wood. And get that going. So thank you guys so much for working with us. I really appreciate everybody doing that. Also, going to have a bunch of other people coming up. We've got a bunch of other ones. Wanted to talk one more thing about a couple properties we have on the market that people might want to know about. Just bear with me. One of these properties is getting a lot of action. It's in Port St. Lucie. We just put up 12521 Northwest Lynch Lane in Port St. Lucie. It's in Copper Creek in Port St. Lucie, which is on the western area. It's actually new construction. This unit was built in 2020. It's a 2-story, 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath property. And we're getting a lot of action on it. So if we have it on the market for $430. If you're looking for something that's in a planned community that's affordable, but you're looking for that newer construction because you want the insurance discounts, but you don't want to wait for the new construction to be built, this would be a great opportunity for you. And then finally, we put a new property on the market on Friday, just yesterday, 5 Danby Place. Shout out to Sean and Janet. We're going to be helping them sell their house in Boynton Beach. This is the 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in Boynton Beach in Boynton Lakes Estates. It's on the market for $460,000. They're going to be selling their home and then buying a home up in Tennessee. So what we did up there is they weren't sure what part of Tennessee they wanted to move to. So we got them agents in 2 different regions of the state, and they went up there a couple times and checked it all out, decided which region they want to move to. The region they chose not to, we had to say goodbye to that agent, even though they did awesome. And Janet and Sean said the agent was excellent. And now they're working with Autumn on the eastern part of the state. And they've already started finding properties that they like up there. Cool. And we helped them through that whole process. We helped them find the agents. They didn't even know what part of the state they wanted to live in. So we were able to get into multiple people to really find out what was going on. Everything's cooking along good for them. We just put the house on the market yesterday, so I'm expecting good things for that. So thank you for trusting us, Sean and Janet. Can't wait to get that deal done for you. And let's go ahead and take the break right now. And then on the flip side, let's do that consumer price index quiz, which I think is funny. And then that'll roll right into what's happening with the market and interest rates, Mike. Because we have a little trend going. So I wanted to talk to you about that.
Finally broke the streak.
I know. That's what I want to talk to you.
Huge spike this week.
Huge?
Well, 0.02.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was going to say. Okay. I thought you knew something I didn't know. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and we're going to talk about, what's going on with this inflation thing, what's going on in the real reports, real world.
You're always welcome to join the conversation toll free at 877-927-6969. But always remember, you have access to a team of pros. If you're buying a home, selling a home, you're stuck with a home, you don't know what to do with it. If you have anything that touches the world of real estate, from insurance to hell, even with Jarrett, we got CPA power. I mean, this team is a team of pros. And when you need expertise, remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, Facebook, Florida Talk Real Estate. You got them on YouTube with a ton of informational videos to consume. But your key, the real resource, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. There's a hotline. You can call it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 888-973-7828. Find it at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Your one-stop real estate shop. Know it, use it, love it, share it. It's FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. We're back in 4 minutes. Great to have you with us every Saturday here on Real Radio.
The bad news, the brain isn't all that great at hearing stuff and remembering it. The good news, you can watch us too. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Real Radio 92.1. Real Radio weather.
I'm CBS 12 meteorologist Charlotte Carl. Temperatures continuing to rise. We will also see those winds remain breezy through the rest of the day. There is that high rip current risk and a small craft advisory in effect as a result of those strong winds. Breeze anywhere from 15 to 30 miles an hour, and we will see those temperatures top out in the low and mid 80s.
This report is sponsored by Hillsdale College. At clayandbuckforhillsdale.com, sign up for a free online learning course about the design and purpose of the Constitution. Our country needs more Americans who understand the Constitution. Learn more at clayandbuckforhillsdale.com.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rauch from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rauch will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rauch, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Komarinetz, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. That's FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because FloridaTalkRealEstate.com has you covered. That's FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Yeah, you can dial it up, 877-927-6969. Questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate? Want to dive into the conversation at hand? Don't be shy. Jimothy, our producer extraordinaire, he'll line you up. What's up, my brother?
Hello, and good morning.
Good morning. It's St. Patty's Day weekend. there'll be celebrations probably all weekend, even though it's not until officially Monday. We also we call that Timothy's birthday weekend.
When's your birthday?
Monday.
Monday.
Monday. You're on St. Patrick's Day.
Yep.
Okay.
St. Patty's
Yep.
Day.
Yep.
Wow. Well, happy birthday.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday, Jimmy.
Thank you all very much.
Mine will be Friday,
Oh yeah,
Yep.
nice.
Oh, Friday?
21st.
Excellent.
Although Andres, my son, came over this week and had a birthday card for me. And he walks in, he's like, "Hey, Pop, happy birthday. Sorry I'm late. Happy belated." I'm like, "What?"
Oh, last year.
He goes,
Last year's card.
Yeah. Yeah, like he did. I have to think about that. Could have been last year's. But apparently he had my birthday as the 11th in his phone.
So that means Ariana's birthday soon, right?
Yeah, so 18.
Yeah.
18 on the 28th.
Oh, my God.
Tony be 18 on the 29th.
That's amazing.
All grown up.
That's
Oh, yeah, that's right. Tony's birthday's right around the corner, too, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
29th. Yeah.
He's 19?
No, he'll be 18
Oh,
on the
18
29th.
too. Yeah, I thought you said me. That's pretty amazing. That's all right. Well, happy birthday, everybody. Hope
Yeah,
you
yeah,
enjoy.
seriously,
Yes, that's
seriously.
awesome.
So
Isn't
to
it?
see, that's me. The birthday boy a week from yesterday is Mike Rao, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm.
Sorry, Timothy. I didn't mean to steal your
Totally
your
not at all,
thunder
not
there.
at all.
Yeah.
Timothy's like me, where it's kind of like, I don't care.
Oh, I don't either.
I don't make
Yeah.
a big deal out of it at
Yeah.
all.
Nope.
I've made way too much of a big deal out of it already for Jimmy.
Yeah. But if you want to send gifts, here's my address.
Yeah. My Venmo.
Right.
Is.
That's right. Hashtag something.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
What's that?
Nice to see you, Mike. As
Oh,
always.
yeah. Hi.
Ross Komarinetz, when's your birthday?
June
June
18th.
8th.
Juno, that's right.
Yeah,
Juno,
that's right.
Juno.
Juno.
Everything- Yeah, Ross is living a theme.
Brightway
That's right.
insurance,
Juno, that's
Juno Beach. We celebrate the birthday of June's. There's Ross Komarinetz. Good to see you, brother.
You too. Good morning, everybody.
Always a pleasure. And of course, our fearless leader, there's Jimmy D. Jim DePolo runs a top producing Keller Williams team, the Florida Home Pros team at Keller Williams Innovations. Jimmy D, how you be?
Yes.
What's your birthday?
The 25th of January.
Yeah, just passed.
Yeah, we passed
We
it.
did that already. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Been there,
Yep.
done that.
And I want to do a shout out to all the listeners on the show. January, I was ranked in the top 5 or whatever agents in my group for doing what's called the home run, which is
Touching them all.
picking up listings, putting houses under contract or buyers under the contract, and then also closing. So basically, doing all those 3 things every month, you hit a home run. So we hit a home run.
You get into
this month.
contract on both sides and you close.
No, just in general, like if I pick up a buyer and then I pick up a listing,
I got you.
and then another house closes,
Mm.
that like that.
I got
Just
you.
Like you have to be in the business, like all
Activity.
3 things, not just hey, I closed the deal this month and you didn't pick up any new business.
Got it.
Right.
Got it.
So this is like showing that you're in production, right? So
Congrats.
yeah, we're in the market, not on the market,
Yes,
right? So really appreciate being recognized for that. But I'm the only reason why I'm recognized for that because I'm working with people that know and trust us and work with us. So thank you everybody for supporting our show, and please referrals are the lifeblood for everybody here. Ross, Mike, everybody. So please, if you know of anybody that needs our services, any of our services, give us a call because we're very competitive with everybody, and we always give out great information, even if you don't decide to work with us.
That's the facts. That's what it is.
Okay.
FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
Yeah, I gotta complain. I'm going to put this out on the air because I want to know if anybody else said this. I got to complain about my answering service. So when you guys call, you'd be amazed at how many people call me at like 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock or even 1 o'clock in the morning. They're texting me, emailing us
Sorry,
at that
Jim.
time. So yeah. So the way I decided to solve that years and years ago is I pay the 888-973-7828, and I pay a service 24/7 to pick that up. They're live operators. They're locally based, and they're supposed to do ask you certain basic questions: your name, your address, your email, phone number, and what you're calling about. And then they're supposed to explain that I'm going to give you a call back and get it all running. I got a couple complaints this week that those 800 service operators weren't really doing the best they could be. So if anybody's out there and had the same experience with that, can you let me know? Because it really does matter to me, and I won't know unless people say something. because I'm going to be doing research to look for another company very soon.
Yeah.
Have you
Okay.
tried it? I mean,
Um,
you could just call.
Yeah, I tried it, but like I've had this company now for 5 years, and the last time I got wild hair about this, it looked like it was fine. So it's a pain in the butt
Okay,
changing it
alright.
because you don't know you're going to get these phone answering service companies. Some of them are like bots
Should
where
we do
you're
it
just
live
paying
on
a
air?
bot,
You have
and
to call 'em.
Timothy,
yeah,
can you
maybe we
call 'em
should do it
live?
live. Wait, you know what? Next week we're going to do that. We're going to do that next week.
They have
That's an
to- they have
awesome
to know-
idea.
they have
We're
to
going to
know they're on the
secret
radio.
shop your own people.
Yeah, I'm going to secret shop. We're going to do that.
They have to know they're on the radio.
Why?
That's the way it is.
Mm.
Yeah. If you're ever listening to something and
La
it
la la
sounds
la
like
la.
it sounds like they're doing that,
Right.
it's a bit.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Whoa,
that's-
whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't pull the curtain back so far.
Sorry.
Whoa,
Sorry.
maybe just a little peek, but
There's no Santa
just ripped
Claus.
it open.
There's no Santa Claus.
Why did
Mom?
you go that far? Of course, there's a Santa Claus. That's a real dude.
Easter Bunny.
I'm not certain about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these calls that I hear, they sound completely like they're prank calls. Those are.
At FCC, you have to let.
You have to let
You
them
know,
know they're
I
on
thought
the
you
You're on
record
your-
it and then you let them know after, and then say, "Hey, is it okay if we use this on
Well,
the show?"
That's
It's
a,
pre-recorded. Yeah, that's
that's a
different.
way to do it, but it's a
Okay.
bit. You recorded that, right? It's not live.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
That's pretty interesting. Well, let's switch over to. Well, if anybody has any comments about what we just talked about, please let me know. I really care. Okay.
Wait, is this show a bit?
Yeah, the
has
whole
been
show's
for
a
13
bit.
years.
It's been a 13-year bit. longer than the Fort Myers story.
Oh, that is a deep
Not
cut.
yet.
Yeah, I'm going deep right now.
Yeah, that is an old real radio reference, right? That is a story that Dr. Rich from the Love Doctors used to dangle forever. So that is a deep cut for sure.
Yeah, I have.
And if
I
you've
have.
been listening to this station for that long, bless you. Thank you.
Yes. I wonder if the lizard's still hanging up, and there's nobody using that studio
Oh, no,
anymore.
that building is
Yeah.
been
What is-
gutted. It's
what
been
is it?
gutted.
Is it empty completely?
Last I knew, the outside of it was still standing. I don't know what they were going to do with it, but
Huh.
I thought they were renovating it inside. But
Did
it's
you
hard to
drive
tell.
up there and like root around?
Yeah.
How tall are the ceilings? Could you put pickleball in there?
No, I don't think
no,
so.
I don't
No,
think so.
no. Hey,
We should go do a
plenty
show
of room
from
for
up
a
there.
out
again.
there.
Right.
court.
Go up there and do a show again,
We should.
just from that building.
That'd be great.
you remember
no
driving
equipment.
up there all the time? Mike, you never did
no,
that, right? Mike
no.
never did the
Yeah.
drive up to Port St. Lucie.
It was,
I-
it was
I
just
saw
so
that-
far.
I saw
Yeah.
that studio gutted, and it gutted me.
Yeah, I
You know,
know.
'cause
It would
there's
be
so
sad
much-
to me. It would be sad.
There was so much history. in
Yeah,
that
it
studio.
really was.
But-
Yeah, I
Even
just
the
remember.
marathons,
I
the marathons
just
they used to fill that
Yeah.
little room with all kinds of
we came.
awesome people.
Yeah, awesome.
I so wish that show started like 5 years earlier because I really wanted to be heavily involved in the Love Doctor charities. Right, I really wanted to get involved in that. I wanted to be involved in the marathon. When they were doing all those live events back then, before they got old and tired.
I was gonna say you're really all the live events is even before.
Yeah, way
my
before.
time in
Yeah,
radio, really,
and
truly.
I just felt like that was like the high point, of real radio in a way. And I just wanted to be involved in that. We just got in just when everything was kind of changing. The Michael Jackson thing happened with Janet Jackson.
And as
Janet
the
Jackson thing
docs were
happened
kind
with
of downshifting,
Timberlake.
the docs were downshifting. They were well, I don't want to say
Yeah.
downshifting, but they were way in more like we're not doing that.
Yeah, they
We
were
did
done.
that,
They
we're
were
not
like,
doing it.
yeah, I'm too old for
Yeah.
this. I'm getting too old for this stuff. Like
yeah, so
the Danny
downshifting's not
Glover.
right. They were still dominating. The show was still amazing, but they weren't. You weren't going to see them out and about.
No, you were not. You were not going to
know.
do that.
No.
Yeah. But so the consumer price index report came out, and right before that was happening, the week before, Mike, we were talking about some stuff that we got real life anecdotes about changes to inflation. So the week last week, the beginning of last week, I should say the week before last, one of my customers, a buyer, found out that the roof is past its useful life. So we had to get a roof quote. So we called a couple of roofers to get them out there to give us a quote. And one of the roofers, who's very reputable, we know, worked with them in the past, they said, this is on a Tuesday. He wanted to come out on Thursday and said, if you don't buy the materials by Wednesday, we're going to have to jack up the prices, increase the prices by 7%. And I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, we've already been told by our suppliers that it's going to be a 7% increase in the materials starting on Friday, meaning last Friday, not this Friday, not yesterday. And I said, and it's composite shingle, and most of that comes from Canada, right? So we were thinking, oh, here's where the construction costs are going to start. Real life example, construction costs starting to get higher, just like everybody's predicting what will happen with the inflation and everything. And I was reading news reports like lumber was going to go higher because Canada does, gives us a significant amount of our lumber. But I didn't think about the composite shingles, like that kind of stuff, right? So we didn't talk about it on the air last week because we had other stuff to talk about. So now the inflation report came out, and the week before last, everybody was going nuts about inflation. So if you want to look at this inflation report objectively, this report looks like 20 of the reports that Biden had, meaning like not that bad. I mean, 2.8% inflation. Biden had that for 3 years. He was, well, not 3 years, probably 18 months. He was hanging around there, right? And it really hasn't been increasing as fast. It's still going up, but not as fast as it was a few months ago. So this report isn't really that bad, but everybody is making it sound like we're in a recession. If you read some of these news organizations, we're already in a recession.
Oh, I haven't really consumed a lot of that super doom and
Really?
gloomy. No,
Really?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, well, I'm just looking at the
is it jobs report related? I mean, because we didn't
well,
create
yes,
a ton of
the
jobs.
jobs report was weaker, right?
Way weaker.
Well, I don't know, 20,000, 25,000 jobs, and they just laid off 6,000 federal workers at that point.
So
Wait,
that's
20
where
to
it's-
25 lower than expected?
Yeah, so they
Okay,
wanted
yeah.
177
Yeah.
and it came out at like 151, right? 177,000 they are expecting. It came out 151. Now that is lower, no
Okay,
doubt
so-
about it.
All right. So to be fair, the number I read was 77,000.
I have it right here. Let's
Okay,
see.
no,
You might
no.
be right. Maybe I was reading it wrong. Maybe I thought it would. Oh, Johnny. Oh no, we added. Let's see. Oh, it says we added 77,000 new workers for the month. You're right, 77,000. Where
Way
did I get
lower
the
than
150? Where did I get the 150 something?
Maybe that they revised the previous one down.
And they always do that. But that's a yearly thing. Don't they?
There's
No, it
there's-
says here.
I've seen the
Look,
monthly.
I understand where you're coming from, John, because I have that. That's the ADP report. Came out with the 77,000 on NPR. This is good that we're talking about this because this is part of the subject I want to talk about. NPR is saying that we added 151,000 jobs in February. And ADP says we only added 77,000.
Well, maybe Paychecks added the other 70,000.
Yeah, is ADP saying that's their payroll, right? Because they
This is their
payroll.
estimate. That's what ADP, ADP, they put out these reports, for branding, for brand marketing to show that they know what's going on in the market. But you're right. They said 77,000, but
But there's the reported numbers.
Department of Labor said 151,000.
Okay, well that's a way better number. I mean, that's twice as much.
Yeah. So so based on the 151,000, I didn't think it was that bad.
No, based on that, I don't.
But
either.
if it was 77,000, then my whole
not great.
opinion has changed right live on air. Because when you said that, did you see my face? I was like, wait a second, what are you talking about? So there you go. So the job market is weak a little bit. So that might not be a good sign. Now, the other thing I think is interesting about this, because this is only February, only 6,000 of the jobs were government jobs that were layoffs, right? The unemployment part of it, there were only 6,000 jobs that were cut because of the federal government, right? But employers laid off 172,000 people this month in February, right? 172,000 got laid off. So
And
only
ours are being cut.
6,000 were that, right? They're expecting that next month it's going to be closer another 40,000 government workers. So if it's 40,000 of 172,000, that's like 25% of the layoffs would be coming from the government. The other thing I found interesting reading about all this, because everybody's going so nuts about the cuts, and I understand what people are concerned about because the services, services being affected by these cuts. But during the Clinton era, Clinton laid off 400,000 government workers, using a lot of the same logic that Trump is doing right now.
Sure, this isn't unprecedented. This is
No,
actually
right.
pretty common.
Yeah,
There's
it's
usually
the way
somebody
that it's
appointed.
being done.
Well, it's being done more in a
Mhm.
hatchet form than a
Mhm.
scalpel form.
Yeah.
There's a right way, and again, I know Al Gore was appointed as the head of Doge. I mean, we just have this administration is good at like branding things to almost feel like it's novel or new,
Mhm.
and the new approach is just a slash and see what happens. It's an approach, but it's not new to say, well, we need to see how efficient our spending is within the government. They just haven't really made it like flashy news in the past, but it's always been a thing.
Yeah. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how much of the workforce is going to be laid off from the federal government and how that affects employment and unemployment in the long run. Right. It's going to be very interesting to see if this is just going to be a bump in the road. Um, That's kind of the way that happened with the 400,000 layoffs in the 1990s with Clinton and Gingrich, right? They
Sure.
they worked together to
big
make
chunk.
that happen.
Big
But also a
chunk.
big difference is like if you're, if you might be laid off within 6 months is different than you're fired, right? And so like that transition for people to go from gainfully employed to what's next, they might have had like some time to figure that out. And a lot of the federal workers that were laid off, they're like, okay, maybe we get a little bit of severance, whatever it is, but I better figure out what I'm doing, right? As opposed to I figured out what I'm doing, now I'm prepared to transition.
There's no
That's a
doubt.
big difference.
There's no doubt there's going to be a lot of pain and is a lot of pain already. There's no doubt about that. And I'm sure there was back in the 90s too. It's just,
There's also a lot of legal questions surrounding.
there's going to be a lot of I wonder how much of these savings are going to be eaten up in legal fees, right? They're going to have to defend all the things that they did, right? Who knows how that's going to be worked, but I want to really keep an eye out on the government layoffs versus how our unemployment stacks up over time. That 77,000 ADP report is a little shocking to me. I'm hoping that's like an outlier, and that everybody else, like that's an outlier on the predictions of what was going to happen.
Well, there's the official report, and maybe ADP is like predicting like, hey, here's what we think it is. And so when they revise this report, maybe it's going to be closer to their number. Because the jobs numbers are turned in essentially. That's what's reported as the jobs report, but then they revise it after they kind of go through and sort out what's what.
In the last 2 months, numbers. January and December, they revised them. During the February, they only revised it by 2,000 jobs each month.
Well, they do it monthly?
Yeah, they actually look at it monthly. They look at it quarterly, and then they look at it biannually, and then yearly. Right? They'll change it over time. And you and I have talked about this a lot. Sometimes they've changed the unemployment stuff like 3 months later by 30,000 jobs or something, right? But right now they're saying that the first 2 months were pretty close, and they only adjusted for 2,000. I don't know if it was up or down, but it was a 2,000 adjustment, negligible.
Yep.
I think as long as they use the same method every time, it's okay, right? Like
you same standard.
Yeah, as long as you're not
kind of like Freddie Mac.
We're going to count these jobs one way this month and these jobs one way this month.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, what's the messaging?
Like we use Freddie Mac for the benchmark of what's going on with the
Yes.
interest rate. It isn't the real interest rate; it's a benchmark, right? I really want to go into.
Can I ask you on the CPI report, Jim? That
Yeah,
was
that's
that
what I
was
wanted to
through
do.
February.
Yeah, it was
So
in February.
we might not have seen like tariffs. I don't know what's actually active right now versus what was, supposed to go in and then it was delayed or whatever. So we might not have seen like the roof one is a good example. So not the imports from Canada have not like in February. Maybe I don't even know. Are they on
probably
right now?
were
Are
in
they
the process of starting. Some of them already kicked in on both sides.
Okay.
Tariffs against us, tariffs against other countries. Some of it's already in effect right now.
Yeah.
Of the stuff that just was talking about, some of it's been in effect for a long time, like the China tariffs from Trump original administration. Biden kept it
Right.
So those tariffs are still there. They've been there since he put them on 6 years ago or
I'm
whatever.
thinking just like
4 years
specifically
ago.
the Canada, Mexico stuff would have the biggest impact, I think, on our everyday products.
Yeah.
And so
I'm thinking
how
that
many of those have kicked in?
I'm thinking May is when we're going to see
the results of that?
Yeah, I think that we're going to see by May, we'll kind of have a clearer idea of how much it's affecting. I might be wrong, but I just think it takes a little time to ripple in and see what really is going to happen. I
wouldn't think so. I would
No?
think
You
much
think
like
it's
much
immediate?
like the
Overnight.
Yeah, like the shingle composite quote. If you got to do it by this day, or it goes to this
Well,
price.
he said the guy, right? Am I wrong, Jim? The roofer said 7% next week, but then the next month it's 25% increase.
Yeah, he did say that.
He knows there's like levels of
the
companies are not eating this. They're not going to eat this.
What this guy did, and he was so cool about it. What he said is, look, I've been doing this for 30 years. The roofer I'm talking about. He goes, I've been doing this 30 years. So he's seen all the ups and downs and everything.
Sure,
he's so used to it. So what he said is, I'm not passing on the 7% for across the board. I'm just doing 7% for the materials. My labor's the same, all that's the same.
You're just going to pay the difference.
So you're just paying the difference. So that's like a real life example of how it really does get passed on to the consumer, because think about it, the owner isn't going to want to eat that. And a lot of times the companies don't have enough margin to eat it.
Right.
If they eat it, they're not making any money. Or
specifically, like everybody has their margins, but restaurants run on the
very
thinnest
thin
of
margins.
And if any of their, it just changes things so dramatically, like overnight.
So I hope we'll see. But that all being said, that's all sounds pretty scary and doom and gloomy, and it all could happen. But right now, the reports are not there yet. We're not seeing it reflected in the reports. So let's talk about that. So 2.8% inflation is what they're saying we have. And they're saying that rose 0.2% compared to the month before. And right now, a year ago this month, we were at 3.1% inflation. So we're down a little bit from a year ago, February, because we're at 2.8. So it isn't doom and gloom yet. Okay, if it's going to be doom and gloom, we don't know yet, but we're not there yet.
I think you got to wait for the doom to get gloomy.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting there
right.
Pre is too crazy.
So the monthly changes in February, as far as inflation or disinflation, or whatever you call the opposite inflation, is it disinflation?
Deflation.
Deflation. Thank you. I don't know how it came out. I know there is a disinflation, but I don't know what
Probably.
it is. I learned that in economics, I think.
Okay.
What do you think? This is a service. This is about services and products. Okay. You're never going to guess this. I'm going to tell you the thing that increased the most for inflationary purposes was piped utility gas service. That increased by 2.5% in February. Right. That's the biggest inflationary increase. The lowest deflation was in the airlines, 4% deflation. So airlines
fuel costs
are going down.
Going down. What was gas or
fuel? Okay, let me see. Fuel oil is up 0.8.
Fuel oil.
Now that, and gasoline is down a whole percent.
There we go.
I think fuel oil though would be more jet fuel.
No, fuel oil is like house
stuff.
Oil. Yeah.
Okay.
Diesel.
I think. Yeah. I don't know if they have like jet fuel different, but I would say if gas prices are down, then airlines potentially could have some savings
they're
there.
Down 1%, and the airlines are down 4%.
Yeah, I mean they got to fill those seats.
I'm thinking that the airlines are down 4% because less people are traveling.
Could be.
Because I think that there's I get the feeling that a lot of people are really starting to put their nuts away for winter, like the squirrels, right? Hide your nuts away for winter, and they're stashing away a little bit. I don't know. I knew I was going to say that. I was going to get comments on that. Yeah, right. I should have said that. As soon as it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, that fruit's pretty low.
But
get as many nuts as you can between now and.
I was wondering if there's less traveling going on. I might be wrong. I'm just wondering because I really think that people are going to start slowing down on their spending for a while because I see a lot of nervousness when I'm out there talking to people right now.
I think it just might be like in the thought to start. I don't think it's really started yet. I feel like everywhere I'm like, man, look at all these people spending all this money. It is wild. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, literally everywhere I go. Now I'm not spending money while I'm doing it, so I'm not, I'm not like
They
standing
also-
there pointing my finger.
Yeah, you're not judging.
But
you're
I'm
just
not
commenting.
in that mode. I'm like,
Right.
all right, we're just gonna live our life. I mean,
I mean,
Yeah.
the airlines know, like, because they're booking, months in advance, right?
Yeah.
Like, so they probably see trends of wait a second, like we got vacation season coming up, and our bookings are down. Let's make it more
pick
attractive,
it up a little bit,
right?
Yeah.
Well, I
Let's
imagine
start
their
offering
margins
some
are pretty
deals.
nice.
I mean, airlines are notoriously bad business, right? Like they go out of business a lot. They have
that's
to. They
true.
file bankruptcy
A lot.
So their margins have to be like
Yeah, they're pretty thin
The
too.
thin-
Yeah, like
the
if
wrong
they
way.
save a penny on like a pack of peanuts, that's like, $1 billion for them.
I know,
It's
right?
true. We have bailed them out a few times. Oh.
Let's go ahead and take a break. On the flip side, we're going to go more into these products a little bit, and then we're going to slide into then we're going to talk about car insurance a little bit, if you don't mind, Ross. Is that okay?
Sure.
Just to understand PIP and stuff like that, and then we're going to go back into the economy and the trends with the interest rates. Okay.
Boom.
Perfect.
Okay,
Got a
thanks.
lot to get into. Still another hour remaining for you on a Saturday. Great to have you with us every Saturday. Thank you very much for making Florida Talk Real Estate a part of your weekend. Always remember, if you like to catch up on the show, you can do that. You got resources where you can catch up on the show, check things out. Florida Talk Real Estate on YouTube. That's a wonderful resource. You have a Facebook page as well. But remember the .com, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, your one-stop real estate shop. That's access to the entire team. Pros, experts in their field that work cohesively together to get whatever you're trying to get done right by you. Know it, use it, love it, share it. You can change lives, including your very own, with the people at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. We're back in 4 minutes. Thanks for being with us every Saturday. Florida Talk Real Estate, right here. It's Real Radio.
No one gives a big warm hug like us when you need it. Come on, get in here. Tell your smart device to play Real Radio 92.1 on iHeartRadio. What?
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rauch from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rauch will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rauch, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Komarinetz, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
You've been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Make us the #1 preset on your car radio and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
That's it, 877-927-6969. Got 95 minutes, 95 Jeepers, 55 minutes. Well, I'm lying to you. You get like 53 minutes to make a quick phone call.
You got 13 minutes.
See you guys next week.
Is that another
Thanks for
inside
tuning
joke?
in.
13 minutes? Is that an inside deep cut?
I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
He's just giving you a real definitive
The way you
moment.
laughed, I'm like, oh, is it something?
Yeah, just,
Another one.
Make it happen on a Saturday. A little laughter goes a long way. Sometimes
does.
it's contagious, even
Yeah.
if you don't know what you're laughing about.
This might be the only time you laugh all week,
Could
right?
be.
Ross was telling us he had a tough week. He probably didn't laugh once this week, right? Ross?
Probably not. Yeah.
I cackled in frustration. Does that count?
I don't know. Probably.
I
That's
guess,
the
yeah.
only coping mechanism you had at the time. Just
Yeah.
gotta laugh.
Yeah.
Just let it out.
You run
Yeah.
into that roadblock again. It's hilarious.
It's just also hilarious.
Here we are.
This is fun.
Step on my cubes. There you go. Now you can laugh.
Perfect. 877-927-6969. Jimothy will line you up if you do just that. What's up, my dude?
Hello, and good morning. Happy Saturday.
Good morning, my friend. Johnny C, that's me. Mike Rauch, he's the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. He's right here and present.
He is. Yes, that's my voice. Hello.
There he is.
The cackling one over here is Ross Komarinetz with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach.
Juno, that's right.
Know it. And of course, Jimmy D's with us. Jim laughs it off. He'll laugh it right in the face. He has to, right?
Yes.
We're the top producing Keller Williams team, Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovation. There's Jim DePola.
Hey, just wanted to say shout outs to everybody on Facebook and YouTube right now. We have a lot of activity going on there. I'm not ignoring you. It's just we're trying to continue with the show. Jackie, she was asking a lot of questions about the impact of the hurricane and condo stuff happening with people that own those units and what they're going to do. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. So keep tuned, Jackie. And Chrissy, Mike, what was Chrissy saying? I'm sorry.
I think it was when you were talking about your call service and like how you're getting
these
local
call services,
help and
yeah.
stuff, and she was the general comment on customer service lines. I
Being
guess
outsourced by everybody.
Yeah,
That's the thing I always got really, really worried about. When I was doing those services, but I felt like I had a good one, so we'll see. Okay. Getting back to the core inflation stuff that was going on, we mentioned that the most inflationary thing that happened last month was gas utility services and went up 2.5%. Number two, and this affects everybody, is meat, poultry, fish, and eggs. 1.6%.
Thanks, eggs.
thanks
Right?
eggs.
Yep, thanks, eggs.
I saw a funny thing that said, man, 2025, where you can buy weed at the store, but you got to meet some dude on Craigslist to get some
Get
eggs.
the eggs. Yeah, get the eggs.
So true.
So electricity increased by 1% inflation this month. Used cars and trucks 0.9. Fuel oil, housing oil, I guess 0.8. Clothes 0.6. Tobacco and smoking products 0.6. Alcoholic beverages 0.5. Cereal and bakery goods 0.4 up. Food away from home, so eating out, is 0.4. Doctor services 0.4. Rent or primary residence 0.3. So that's actually a good thing. I mean, comparatively, that isn't going up very much compared to the way it was.
Why did doctor services go up?
I have no idea.
Band-Aids,
just
dude.
health in
Yeah.
general.
Maybe
skyrocketing.
their cost of electricity and eggs is
Paper
like
clips.
bleeding into everything.
Yep.
Mhm.
And
Did anything go down?
yeah, we're going to get to that in
Oh.
a second, but not much. Motor vehicle insurance went up 0.3, not too bad.
Ooh.
Okay. So what went down was fruits and vegetables was down 0.5%. Non-alcoholic beverages down 0.5%. Dairy products down 0.5% or 1%. Gasoline went down 1% of all types of gasoline, and airlines down 4%. So that's where. So there was only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that went down, and like 12 things that went up on this chart. So
The only one I feel is eggs. That's everything else kind of just feels like it's been about the same.
Oh, could you guys talk for a second? I forgot to plug in my computer. I'm gonna lose it.
There we
For
go.
a second.
So how many eggs does your household go through in a week?
None right now.
Oh, none. You went from some to none.
Yo, we breakfast for dinner is amazing.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Eggs is a
Absolutely.
must-have in the fridge. I haven't had.
It's
eggs
kind
in
of
the-
like when there's nothing else, you can always rely on the good old egg, and you can do so much with it.
It used to be like the cheap food. Like it was inexpensive. You could feed a family pretty inexpensively with some eggs. And I guess if I frame it in my head right, $7 for a dozen eggs.
It's still
$9
cheaper than
for a dozen
eating
eggs.
out.
It's still
Yeah.
cheaper, right? But it's not what it should be.
Yeah, and I think that one's more of an outlier, just because there was a, there was the.
I don't know if that's an inflationary thing.
Yeah,
Well,
there
they
was
killed
the
a bunch
bird.
of birds.
Yeah. That's all the bird influenza.
And I'm pretty
situation.
sure you
Bird
need birds.
influenation.
You need chickens, right?
Influation.
Perfect.
Influation.
It was the influation.
Yeah.
You need chickens to produce eggs.
I'm thinking about
Is
raising.
that where they
some.
come from?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're eating chicken eggs? I'm eating lizard eggs over here.
Are they good?
I haven't resorted to. I haven't resorted to calling my neighbors, although I have in the past.
That's right.
I mean, let's not all my neighbors, but my two neighbors that are I'm on a corner, so my two neighbors behind and to the side both have chickens.
Oh, they were getting hit up,
and they got lots of roosters, so I know there's got to be a bunch of eggs.
Yeah.
I used to buy eggs from one of my clients.
Yeah.
I used to, if I'd go down to Boynton Beach and he was selling them and pick them up.
Nothing
They're
better.
really good.
Nothing better.
So
than
good.
fresh. Oh,
And then apparently he got a neighbor that yelled at him.
I covered.
You still do that?
No, he doesn't do it anymore because he got a new neighbor who his kid had a lemonade stand and she called the police for permits, so he didn't want to deal with the chickens anymore.
Karens.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was something crazy.
Yeah, right. Can you imagine?
So he did away with the chickens because she was complaining about this.
Guess I'm done with this.
I heard Port St. Lucie's trying to pass a law or changes so that you can have a certain amount of small farm animals.
Kind of like
that,
kind of like Key West. Key West has
yeah.
that law. That's why you see all the chickens running around all over the place because they made them legal, right?
Yeah.
And you can't really screw around with the chickens down there.
Well, in
I feel like it's gotta be legal.
unincorporated St. Lucie, you can have it, right?
Okay, that I don't
think
know.
if
I
it's
don't know.
unincorporated out there, you can. But if it's in city, I
Right,
think
right.
then it's.
Mhm.
When I was doing meters, there was sections of Fort Pierce where I'd get chased by chickens.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Both my neighbors have them. But I mean, I don't say anything. Oh, dump that.
A lot of people don't know that the county health department, unless they shut down the program, they used to have a chicken sentinel situation, right? So I covered it. So they had people on Lake Ida Road and Congress, basically in Delray, which is pretty city over there, right? It's not country at all. A family was paid by the health department to raise chickens in their property. And they had these people paid all over, dotted all around the county. And what they were doing is they would be paid to raise these chickens and take care of the chickens and stuff. And then the county health department would come over and check the chicken blood to see if they had the avian flu or any other kind of diseases that were important to know about.
Oh.
So they were like the canary in the coal mine people, right? They had the chickens out there to be the front line of seeing what's going on and make sure disease doesn't spread. Isn't that wild?
It's great.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and nobody knows about that, right? I mean, who would have thought that the counties placing chickens in different areas of the county to make sure that we
That's
don't
what they
get.
say they're doing.
Yeah,
And
and
be waste.
and I
Feel
covered this
good.
in the '90s. This is like 1990s stuff. This isn't like all new because the avian flu. This is like programs they've had out there for
I
decades
wonder if it's
to
still
make
there.
sure.
Doing
I don't
mind
like I was
control
saying. Who knows? Maybe they
experiments
cut it out because they think it's waste. Who knows?
chickens. Right. You don't know what they're doing, Johnny.
But that's the reason why I was bringing it up. They were eating the eggs all the time. That's why I was bringing that up. Not just to say they had sentinels, but they were eating the eggs all the time. How many people here have actually collected their eggs that they would eat in the morning from the chicken coops directly? Have you ever done that before?
No, that sounds awesome.
I have.
Yeah,
My
I did.
mom
I used to do. I did it for a couple of years.
My mom grew up
Once.
on a farm. They had chickens, and then
Yeah.
I have gotten
Just
chickens
didn't
or
work.
eggs from the neighbor.
Yeah.
So-
Did you ever get double or triple yolks?
No, not
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
If
I've
you-
never seen a triple yolk.
Oh yeah,
double yolks are pretty
I've
awesome.
seen triple.
I'll
they're-
wake up the
they're
house. And be like,
rare.
"Ah, double yolk.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it cool? You when you get good at it, when you do it long enough, you can actually look at the eggs and know if they're double yolkers or not.
Wow,
You can
missed
just
your
look
calling,
at them and
dude.
tell. Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's pretty
Are you
funny.
is that you at Publix going through each individual carton?
Yeah.
Not a double.
Believe me,
And when
they
you see
don't
him
have
pulling
double
one out,
yolkers.
he pulling them out of this carton and putting them in this
Yeah,
carton.
he's got a carton full of doubles.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
that's how
a
you do
good
it, dude.
idea. Yeah.
That's how you get around this
Quarter the double yolk
influation.
market. That's funny. That's
double
pretty
your
funny.
yolks.
So the inflation report, so you could be as doom and gloom as you want, or you could be super positive as you want, but either way, we're kind of flat right now. We haven't really changed much
I think that's positive.
compared to December
Any
to
prior
February.
month,
There
yeah.
isn't really much change going on right now. Whether we'll keep an eye on it and see if there changes come or not come. But right now, we're exactly where we were a couple months ago.
But we definitely had the real world example of, price increases based specifically on
Oh yeah, like
import
the
costs, right? With the
composite
roofer thing.
shingles.
So,
Yeah. So
not a political statement, but just a real world. This is what we're seeing on the ground.
That's what's happening.
I'm going to start making composite shingles right here in the USA.
You could do that, and if you
Yes.
price them, I guess that's the whole point,
It is the point.
right?
Yeah, we'll see if it works.
yeah,
See
we're
if
Ross,
you
Ross
can make
is
a profit.
falling
I'm in.
step.
I'm in.
You gonna be hiring soon?
Yeah, I'm going to need a
I mean,
guy to make.
You might be in a good position, Ross. Right? Because he knows what the shingles are supposed to be.
Yeah, he'll know
to get
exactly.
the best insurance rates. So
Right.
you can put whatever you want in there to make them, hurricane resistant.
That's right. That's what we're doing, Johnny. You're hired.
Excellent.
Get to work.
Let's go.
You start Monday.
7 a.m., sir. Let's take a phone call. What do you say?
Yes, sir.
877-927-6969. Who dialed in?
We got Kelly on the line. Hey, Kelly, welcome to Florida Talk Real Estate.
Oh my God, the best of the best, all in one space. I've known you guys forever. So, I mean, it sounds like a funny question, but it's kind of legit. You remember when they got the goats? The government paid for the goats to clear out lots.
Yep.
And the whole chicken thing. So, do you need special permits if you want to have one or two? I like fancy chickens, and there's nothing like a fresh egg from a fan. So, do you need special permits? Do we have to put that in when we're buying the house? Is that something we need to think about before we buy the house?
Oh yeah, before you buy the if you're
know.
thinking about putting chickens in the property before you buy the house, you should definitely double check that with whatever government agency you're at. Whether it's incorporated, then you go to the city. If it's unincorporated, you go to the county, right? Or Indian River Trail District. But out there, if you're out there, it's pretty much yes.
Wild, wild, wild.
I feel like it must be, but maybe there's some, you can have X amount of chickens.
But I don't know if you have to have a special permit or not. I just don't know. Yeah, I just don't remember that. I wrote that article like 35 years ago.
And I'm sure
yeah, it's been a while.
I'm sure it's changed. Yeah.
How? You're not even 35 years old. How did you write that 35
Yes.
I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah, there you go.
Flattery gets you everywhere. Right now.
Get the old chisel and hammer.
Yeah.
Well, I know where I am right now. Literally, there are chickens and roosters, just walking across the street.
Grab
Yeah.
one. Grab one. Now you don't even have to go buy one.
Get one of each.
I have chickens in my yard every single morning, and they're out there, eating bugs. So I'm like, yeah, come on over. buffet.
They're also a good pest deterrent. I mean, it's the whole thing. I'm just curious, is that something that you should think about before you buy the house? Absolutely, right? Like, these are things like you buy a house, it's great, everybody is amazing, and then I have 2 chickens, and they're like, no.
I think, Jim, if you don't have it already, like when you're doing your borrower interview and you're talking about bedrooms, bathrooms, chickens, like just put that as a checkbox on there.
Yeah, how many chickens do you need?
How many chickens are you going to have?
Do you need a 3-2 that holds 14 chickens?
Yeah.
At least. I need to add that to
Well,
my
no,
list.
it's probably going to be like 3 chickens and a goat.
Yeah, I think that
I hope it's a
if you
goat.
buy in the right area around here, definitely that is possible.
Oh,
you
yeah,
can have a
without a
cow,
doubt,
goat,
yeah.
pigs, like you know, donkeys, all of that. Johnny's got the
You
donkey.
have goats in your neighborhood, Mike. I know you have goats in your
100%.
neighborhood.
And like Waxahachie and that whole horse country out there.
Yep,
by,
the acreage, Jupiter Farms, Loxahatchee, Loxahatchee Groves,
Country Estates.
all of that. Yep, all those areas you can, because the land is larger. Now, whether or not you can do it on a 1/4-acre lot in Boynton Beach or Delray or Boca, I don't know. You'd have to. That's where you'd want to check.
I feel like maybe it's unincorporated, but there's like Lantana, Lake Worth areas where I'm sure that there's chickens.
I know I see chickens around there, but I just don't know if they're legal or not. Right, whether they're legal or not. I don't think that. Well, I guess animal control would come over and try to collect them if they were illegal. Yeah.
So now we need an ICE division for illegal.
Yeah, ICE for chickens. That's funny. That's funny.
Well, you already have it. ICE, illegal chicken enforcement.
Yeah, illegal chicken enforcement. I love that. That's funny.
I was legit just calling in to ask a legit question, and I miss you guys and love you guys, and you need a caller. And but that's the thing. Like, I might need a fancy chicken and a goat, and those little baby cows are super cute.
They just grow into be big cows.
Yeah.
I like capybaras. That'd be awesome.
Don't, but they're so cute when they're little.
I think a baby goat is like as far as cute factor is up there. Baby cow.
It's
I
up
like
there.
baby goat is like super.
I like
cute.
I like the fainting ones. Fainting goats are awesome.
How about a baby hippo? You ever see a baby hippo? They're adorable too, but they don't last long.
Oh yeah, they're not that adorable when they get older.
We were looking. We got Tiffany got infatuated with a cooney pig, and if you see those, like if you look up I don't know how to spell it, but a cooney pig, like when they're a baby, the cutest little thing. You want like 10 of them. And then you see as they mature, like what they turn into. And it's just the cuteness fact. I'm sure you can get attached to it, like it'd be a best pet.
Right.
But you want to start with an adult cooney pig. That's for sure.
Oh, wow.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
You see when they're
first marriage, a waste of time.
That's funny.
Well, thank you very much for tuning in. Always nice to hear your voice.
I miss you guys.
Thank you,
That's a legit question because I think I want to go get some chickens and a Highland cow, and fresh eggs are the best. I just paid $37 for a flat of eggs, which is only 37 eggs.
Oh,
$1 an egg.
$1 an egg.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's actually a good price.
I hit at Aldi's the other day and I saw $5.97 for a dozen. They said max 2 per customer. And isn't it sad that I was like, ooh, that's a great price on eggs.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's pretty
That
crazy.
You're actually paying attention to the price. Like you've never you're like, I need eggs. I just need eggs. Like,
bro, I went in there for something totally different, and I was like, "How much are their eggs?" And I was like, "Ooh, that's great, actually." And then I was like, "That's disgusting." That I feel great about $6 for a dozen eggs.
Johnny C, you might remember this. Remember the lady that used to come down on the 45th Street studio parking lot with the fresh eggs and sell the fresh eggs, and they were all the colors?
No, the blue, the brown, everything. No, I would have totally bought those. I don't remember. I used to get eggs from Franny's mom.
Went down there, Greek would buy them. I think Alexis was still there. She was like pilfering eggs out of the parking lot of they were the best eggs ever.
I wish I would have taken advantage. No, I did not take it. I was not involved, but I wish I was.
Well, we need that lady now. All right, you guys have a beautiful day.
You as well.
The best of the best, real here on Real Talk Radio. Whatever you need, you got it going on here. And
well said.
Always remember, silence is golden, but duct tape is silver.
Truth. Boom. Enjoy the eggs. Thank you very much. 877-927-6969. Yeah, you should write that down.
Hey,
party.
we're going to talk a little bit about car insurance because there's something going on. And I thought Ross maybe can give us some perspective on this. Apparently, the state legislator is trying to end no-fault insurance in Florida to turn it into at-fault insurance. And Governor DeSantis has had this thrown at him a couple of times, and he's vetoed it each time it's come up.
It's not going to happen under DeSantis.
Yeah. So, Ross, what is no fault insurance, and why is it different than at fault insurance?
So we're a no fault state, meaning that you, on your policy, in order to register your vehicle and drive it around, you have to have personal injury protection coverage on your policy.
Mm-hmm.
That and $10,000 of property damage is all you need to put your property damage liability is all you need to drive your car on the road, meaning that if you crash into somebody else's car, your policy will pay up to $10,000 to fix their car. And then the personal or injury protection part of that is you and I are driving down the road, no matter who's at fault, but if we smash into each other, no matter who's at fault, if you crash into me, whatever, and I'm injured, my policy, my auto policy will pay the first 80% of my medical expenses up to $10,000.
Okay.
And then anything after that would come from your whoever, whatever the person, that you were in the crash with. So that's the way it works right now. I think, I don't know which way works out to end up being better, but I think the argument for the other way is having a minimum amount of bodily injury liability and property damage liability when you're driving your car, meaning that every time you get behind your car, you're driving a weapon around that could injure somebody. Mm-hmm. So your auto insurance, if you injure somebody, your auto insurance will pay their injuries. That's what the auto insurance is for. Does that make sense?
It does.
Right, yep.
Okay. So right now, you don't have to, if you're driving your car, you don't have to carry any protection for the other people as you're driving your weapon around. You only have to pay for damage that you cause to somebody else's property, not them personally. Right? So if you crash into somebody's house, their fence, their car, a light pole, you've got $10,000 of property damage right now. The other side is, hey, you got to carry $25,000 of bodily injury liability per person and $50,000 of bodily injury liability per accident, meaning that if Johnny and Jimmy are driving in the car and I smash into them, each of them are going to get up to $25,000 per person if they're injured, and the whole accident total will get $50,000. And so that would come from the liable party, not your policy. Does that make sense?
That's the at fault.
That's the at fault. Yeah.
So the no fault is your insurance covers you. The at fault is your insurance. The other party's insurance covers you.
Correct.
So the person whose fault it was.
Right. So right now, just to register your car, you need to just get personal injury protection and property damage.
And that covers you. Nothing to do with the other party.
Covers the other party's property.
Okay.
Your car, Johnny's fence,
but
a light pole, something that, property. But there's no coverage you don't have to have coverage like if I run into a school bus, and all the kids are injured. I don't have to have any coverage for that. Now.
Does insurance is insurance cheaper when it's at fault? Meaning, like if you're the safer driver, you can have lower coverages.
That's the argument.
That's the idea.
That's the argument.
Exactly right.
But also, if you look at who's pushing this stuff, it's like the trial lawyers. Because right now, if all you have is PIP, they got nothing to go after. Right? They got nothing to sue you for. But if you have to carry around a minimum of $25,000. Every accident, they got $25,000 to go after.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have no personal injury protection, there's nothing to go after, right? Because that's an optional
Well, there would be no personal injury protection anymore. They would do without that. And it would just go to where you would have to have a minimum
25,000 per person.
bodily injury liability.
But right now, in the no fault situation, I could have PIP or not. Right?
No,
Like,
you have to have PIP now.
Oh, okay. All right. I got
And
it.
that's all you need.
Oh, I'm thinking of the uninsured motorist.
Uninsured motorist is different.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
At this point, everybody's cut that because trying to save money.
but your uninsured motorist coverage would pay for the damages that the guy that just has PIP caused you.
Yeah. And trial lawyers like that too, because there's coverage that they can go after, and it's your insurance that they would go for.
Yes.
Okay.
It seems like to me that this is very much mirroring what happens with homeowners insurance, meaning that the attorneys want to be able to sue more. They want to have the ability to sue more, and switching to the at fault gives them more ability to have lawsuits than where we are now. And they are arguing, but they're not arguing that's why they want to do it. They're arguing that they'll save, that consumers will save money by going to at fault.
So
I think it'll go up because of what
more.
happened with our homeowners.
I was going to say, wouldn't it cost more?
Yeah, that's
because you have to have more coverage, basically. So that would require more.
Well, I mean, it might offset because you have to carry the personal injury protection, which provides a benefit, and then you would. So instead of having the person, you'd be swapping that out with something else.
So that would go away.
But I can tell you that, we're talking about lawyers. There were a handful of like auto carriers that, 5-10 years ago we only want the higher limit policies. Those are our people. We only want people that have high limits. We don't want, your PIP and PD,
budget.
your 1020s.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the last 5 years, they got the pants sued off of them, where a lot of those people even stopped offering coverage. The auto carriers, they said, hey, we're not even going to offer coverage anymore. We kind of went through the same thing a little bit with the auto carriers, but it wasn't as prevalent because you still got Progressive out there. You still got Geico. You still got State Farm that is offering a slew of coverages, but there was kind of your Travelers, your Liberty Mutual Safeco, where they just got Nationwide, where they got, because as soon as there's an accident, the attorney just wants to see the other person's declarations page. And if you got $250 of liability, that's what the attorney's going for.
Right. And that's how, like, even now in the no fault state, attorneys want to see what kind of coverage is there, and they kind of use that to determine whether you have a case they want to take or not.
That's
is
for
it
sure
worth
true.
it? Is it worth it for them?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
So basically, if you open up more legitimate avenues for litigation, the trial attorneys will fill that in, overflow it, that avenue, right? They'll all pile in there, right? And there will be similar to the housing. Like, one of the things they say is the big cost of homeowner insurance was because of excessive fraudulent litigation.
And I mean, there's apparently there's a lot of fraud in the PIP, with chiropractors, and because that's kind of where the PIP kind of plays in that area. But I mean, at least if there's fraud in that area, what is it, capped at 10,000?
Right.
Now if you've got 25,000 per person, 50,000 per accident, that the attorneys are going to go after. And then if they do win that, then on top of the 25,000, then now you're paying attorney's fees, So I don't know how it shakes out in the long run, but
and
that's how it works.
And just to put this in perspective, and I've heard about this before, I never saw the stats before. Florida is ranked number 3 in the country for expensive auto insurance. So we're number 3 in the country. It's a little surprising to me what number 1 and number 2 are.
New York's up there.
What do you think number 1 and number 2 are? Florida's number 3 for most expensive car insurance.
Phoenix.
State.
Sorry,
Let's
Arizona.
use state. Yeah, state. Arizona. Okay.
I was thinking like Jersey.
What about you, Jimmy?
I would go with California.
Yeah, I don't know why. Michigan and Louisiana. Michigan's number 1. Louisiana's number 2. Florida's number 3 for expensive car insurance. I wonder why Michigan and Louisiana.
ICE.
I'm wondering if Louisiana's like cars damaged from flooding and hurricanes and stuff like that kind of damage. Who knows?
Maybe there's more
Could be theft related.
older cars
theft,
on the road.
yeah.
So like I
Oh,
know
yeah.
if you have a certain zip code, and
Yep,
correct me if
that's
I'm
true.
wrong, certain zip codes alter just the zip code alone
Oh,
will alter your rate.
yeah. So auto insurance is based on zip code. So
Yeah.
you have a zip code in Miami and you have a zip code in Fort Pierce or Vero Beach, same coverages, same person.
Completely different.
way
Three
different.
times is more expensive down in Miami.
Yeah,
No.
so that could be driving it a lot of the. I mean, it might just be a couple of areas
That
in
just
Michigan,
shoot it up
like
and go
Detroit,
crazy.
right?
Yeah.
I'm cherry picking, right?
Yeah.
That might be enough to affect the whole state potentially. I mean, I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm just guessing.
And cities. So now I'm going to go to cities now instead of states.
New York.
Florida has one, two.
Miami.
Out of the top two, Florida has
Miami.
2 cities that are in the top 10. Number 1 is Detroit.
Oh,
Johnny, A++,
Look at
and
Johnny's
by far, I mean, the chart is off the chart.
So it might be carrying Michigan's.
Yeah.
rate.
The average policy in Detroit is over 6,000 a year.
How much?
6,000.
I need to get licensed
Average?
in Detroit.
Yep. New Orleans is like 4,500. Miami is 4,000. Tampa is like
Thanks,
3,800. And then after that, it's Brooklyn, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Providence, Rhode Island, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas. So we have very high insurance rates. That's why this keeps coming back again and again. I'm not sure that switching over to the
Just like homeowners
switching
insurance, though, auto rates are coming down.
Yep.
They are coming down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and insurance rates are still coming down, right, Ross?
on both sides. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome.
But theft is the driving factor there, no pun intended. As
Yeah.
far
seems
as,
like.
far as the higher rates.
Yeah, I mean,
I
you
would
know,
have thought accidents, but it makes sense.
Miami's heavily populated. You know, people are banging into each other, and you know, Florida's always number 1 for fraud. You know, so
True. Okay. All right.
When I drive down to Miami, I will see people bumper car into each other on 95, and they don't even stop.
I know, it's
They
crazy.
just have they have road birds like the side of their
I
cars.
know,
They're just
I
like,
know,
you
right?
good? I'm good. Let's keep going. It's like, what? Nobody's gonna stop. They just hit each other.
Jeez. Who's driving to Miami?
Oh, okay.
I hate
Not
going
me.
south of Glades.
this is the only time I go south of North Lake.
Landmass to get to the Keys. That's the only reason why Miami's there. Landmass to get to the Keys.
I go more south of that to just go to the Hard Rock, essentially.
yeah.
Got it
Your
on the
intent is to go to Miami, and then you get to Harvard. It's like, what the hell? Let's just go here.
I'm forced to go to concerts there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I probably never would.
Oh, yeah, probably
Mhm.
never be down there.
Line.
Wanted to go into a little bit about what's happening in the market a little bit and interest rates, because we really haven't talked about interest rates in a little bit. For 6 weeks in a row, we had either flat or dropping interest rates. So our latest peak was 7.04 back in January 16th. And since then, it's been going down for 6 weeks in a row. And we got all the way down to 6.63 last week.
Yep.
And then this week, we went up 0.02.
Oh.
So you just spent 7 cents a month more for your mortgage payment because it went up 0.02. Oh my God. But no, so we've been 0.02 is basically flat. So basically we've been flat or going down or flat for 7 weeks in a row. So not too bad. And when you look at the chart, I started looking at the 3-year chart for Freddie Mac just to see if I can see any trending. And that 6 weeks might be that 6 or 7 weeks that we had go down. That might be the beginning of us going back up again. Looking at this chart, I could see it going back up again. Or we can continue on the path that we are now. What do you think, Mike? Are you thinking that the rates?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and we talked about this last week. Number one, this movement that we're watching week over week is really only important if you're in the market, right?
Yes.
And maybe even thinking
Buying
about
right
like
now.
maybe you're even in contract and you've been floating your rate versus locking in, or maybe you're in a locked rate from, with a longer close, and maybe you're looking at a float down, right? Like if rates move down enough, maybe you can adjust your locked in rate. So that's my take on that. Like, unless you're thinking about locking, this type of movement really isn't that important. If I were going to predict what's going on, I would say just more of the same. I could see like the reason we had a slight bip up this week is because of instability in the stock market. The instability in the stock market was because of, political events, right? Essentially, I think. So I think as that stuff hopefully starts to settle down, like there's less turmoil, right? Uncertainty, angst, right? About like what the next week holds or the next month. I think we'll see rates stay pretty much where they're at. Now, what's interesting, Jim, you said you're looking at the 3-year. This chart has, so we're down 0.02 week over week. We're down year over year. So this week, last year, it's down 0.09. So the 52-week average, so we're at 6.65. The 52-week average, so over the last year, is 6.75. So we basically have been flat for a year. Now within that year,
that's so cool.
There's been a upwards up above 7.
Yep.
Up to high 7s, right? Within the last year, and then down towards maybe the low 6s. But if you take the entire, so we've essentially been flat for a year.
Yeah.
You might, if you were in the market and you were a buyer, you might have gotten a little bit above it, a little bit below that average. Anybody who was talking about, Jim, we talked about refinances last week. Like this movement that we're seeing right now is not the big refinance, rush to refinance that you might be thinking or hearing about in the headlines, right? Like we're basically flat over the last year. So if you've bought a home anytime in the last year, I would even say in the last 3 years, you're not in the refinance window yet.
No.
They haven't come down to the point where you're like, oh, it really makes sense to refi.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense right now. And the other thing is, it's a very good point. I was going to bring this up, that we're right in the middle of the 52-week average right now. This is pretty much what people have been getting for the last year, is the 6.6. Our low for the last year was 6.08, and our high was 7.22. That was May 2024. Okay. But we also hit a 7.04 earlier, January. We went to 7.04. So we've been hanging around 6.5% to 7% for over a year now. So anybody thinking that these rates are horrible or unsustainable or anything like that, that's not really true. This is what we've been going, these are the interest rates we've been working with now for well
3
into a
years.
year, but really closer to 2 years. And I agree with Mike. Now, November of 2023 was the big outlier, because November 2023 we got all the way up to 7.79, and that was pretty shocking. I remember that day when I looked it up, because I didn't know what it was until I was on the air, and I was like, I didn't like that number at all. I was like, we're gonna hit 8. I was like, DEFCON 4, we're gonna hit 8. But really after that, we've been going on from November 2023. We really have been going on a trajectory of downward interest rates since November 2023, with a couple of blips up in the middle of it.
Yes.
It wasn't straight down.
Blip up, blip down.
Yeah, but in a trajectory, it's more on a downward trajectory right now. But that could bounce up, next week. I mean, this 0.02 could be starting of another increase. So right now, I wouldn't worry about interest rates as being a factor of like the people that are really at their upper limits and they're really trying to get a house, but the interest rates might push them out of the market. There's less likely that that's going to happen right now from the fluctuation of the market, of the interest rates.
Yeah.
That's probably not going to push you out of the market right now.
Right. And it also isn't going to bring you into the market if you're kind of waiting on the sidelines and you're like, oh, I need rates to be around this level.
Yeah.
That's which again, I don't have a problem with that, approach, which is this neighborhood, this type of home, I need the price to be here and I need interest rates to be here in order to have a payment that I maybe qualify for and or am comfortable for budget. So that's fine with me. Like you can say, hey, I need rates to be below 6% or I'm not buying a home in this neighborhood at this price. Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Now you can watch.
Now we have a foundation to work off of, not just a whim of this is good
but
or this is bad.
If your approach is, I'm not doing anything until rates are down below 6%. Well, then it's like, okay, well, what do you really are you really a buyer in that case?
Right.
Will you be ready when they do go to 6? What if they go to 6 for 2 weeks and then it's back up, right? So it's I can't advise people when rates are going to be good enough for them to do it. I can only say get yourself lined up, watch it, and then be prepared to make the move when the stars align. Yeah. Kind of Johnny's been doing that for how long now?
Oh, feels like forever.
Right.
Yes.
And that's okay. You like to just keep a pulse on it, right? You're just checking the pulse. You're keeping an eye on it. So what's wrong with that? Unless you're getting your heart broken every week.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly right. Darn it. We we've been following every once in a while on the show, like how many properties are for sale on the MLS, our local MLS, every month. And when we started it, we were in the mid to high 40,000s, like 46, 47,000, something like that. When I opened it up today, because we haven't done it in a couple weeks, I actually went, whoa.
Wow, it's a big
62,180. So when we started, we were in like the 45-ish, 46-ish.
And that was what, about 4 months of inventory?
Probably
Right
around 4 months or so, right?
I was going to say three to four, something like that.
Yeah, but we started out at 45 and now we're at 62. So just rounded off to 15,000. 15,000 based on 45, that's a 33% increase since we just started messing around doing this on the show. We've seen the inventory increase by 33% just from us messing around with this. So the inventory really, really is increasing. Now, another thing,
and that's going to be the biggest driver of prices, holding or even coming down a little bit.
Well, and it's the perfect kind of transition as we're talking about people that are holding and waiting.
Yeah.
Right. If you have your number, if it's an interest rate number, inventory is not really going to change a lot of that probably. But
if it's a price,
inventory does. We are slipping into that buyer market where you're getting
and it's
session
I'll tell you, it's not price and it's not rate. It's both, right? Because you're really I say this, when you're qualifying for a mortgage, you qualify for a payment. When you're considering a budget, you're also thinking about a monthly payment because that's how you operate your budget, right? And so it doesn't have to be interest rates coming down here. It has to be prices coming down. The prices and the interest rate aligning to get you the payment that you're comfortable with.
That's right.
Matt, look at the open house that Chris is at this morning. Like, how many 6-bedroom, 2-bathroom with a pool homes are out there?
He said huge pools.
0.
Right? Like, how many 6 bedrooms? Like, you don't hear 6 bedrooms
area. There's
often.
no 6 bedrooms.
So if you're a buyer and you're looking like you got a family that could fill up, maybe it's a multi-generational family, right? Maybe you have a parent or something like that, grandparent. Like, that could be the one that you've been waiting for, right? And it's that price and it's these rates and it's, oh my gosh, and the pool. Whoa. Like, that is the type of thing where if you're a buyer, you have to be in the know, right? Like, you have to be getting pinged on this stuff. You have to have the ability to crunch numbers. That's a really stark example of something that you may have been waiting for just that home to come up.
Right. And if you're not ready, you're not going to get it. It's just a reality. So on the 62,000 homes, there are 274 for sale that are foreclosures. That's it, out of 62,000, 274.
That number has not been climbing the inventory
but that's just foreclosures. If you add the short sales, there are 158 short sales. So if you add the two of them together,
400.
We're at like 420, which is slightly higher, not a lot higher, but slightly higher than when we were doing the other statistics. So let me just do this.
How much has that increased compared to the inventory increase, like percentage wise?
Well, that's what I'm doing right now. So
live math on the air.
Yeah, live math. Makes for great radio. Live math.
Real estate agent math.
Yeah.
Realtor math.
So 420.
Ask him 3% of any number though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait, I did it wrong. Okay, 420 divided by 62. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
0.006% is where we're at right now. 0.006%. 400 on 62,000.
Okay.
We are at we were at like point.
So it's 0.6%, right?
Yeah, 0.6%.
Less than 1%.
Yeah, less than 1%. But before, I think we were at like 0.3, 0.4. So
Okay.
we are almost double where we were, but it's still very, very low because normal foreclosure rate is 1 to 3%. Now, here's the other
Where
thing
are
I
these
did.
short sales coming from?
Well, that's what I wanted to go. So the first thing I did is I looked up short sales, wondering how many of these, and this is getting back to Jackie Levine talking about people getting in trouble with their houses with condo fees and everything.
Okay.
I always wonder if it's a condo problem. So when you look at the short sales, the 158 short sales of those, and this was a little surprising when I did it, of those, only 57 are condos. So only 33% of the short sales are condos. So I thought it would be like 90%, right? Now with the foreclosures, though, bless you.
Thank you.
With the foreclosures, it's 60% of the foreclosures are condos. So of the 275 for sale, 60% of those are foreclosures. So are condos, or foreclosures are condos. So that's what I still think is going to happen. The bubble that we're going to have in Florida, if we have anything, assuming we don't have some national catastrophe where interest rates jump up to 8 or 9% or something, unemployment jumps up to 8 or 9%, unless we have something like that going on. The only bubble that I see around here in our area is going to be the condo market, older condo market, and all the houses on the west coast of Florida that are in trouble because of all the storms that they got hit with. Those will be the two bubbles in the state. The rest of the state will probably be pretty stable, assuming we don't have anything hit other areas of the state. But right now, everything's pretty stable.
I'd be curious on those short sales, on any of them, what the year of purchase was. Like, were they buying at like 2021, 2020 peak, and now potentially that's why they're upside down? Like, I don't think we've had that kind of depreciation, but maybe on a house by house basis, it could be like that. Because short means the home's worth less than what you owe on it.
Right.
You're going to walk away with less than what you owe. So
the bank's willing.
Yeah. And they usually would be. I mean, if it's especially if you get Jim and them on it. But like, the banks have taken large haircuts at certain times. So now when it's a small haircut, probably willing to play ball.
So when I was doing this research last night, you know what popped up? Remember the Hunters Run community where a house sold last June for $1? Remember we talked about the condo that sold for $1?
I remember you bringing that up.
Right? I said, I wonder whatever is happening to that community, right? Because that's the community. The reason why the unit sold for $1 is because of all the problems with the condos. This condo community, they had so many fees to deal with between the reserves that they had to make up, because there's a new state law that you have to have a certain amount of reserves for all the associations. They had to make up that money. Then they had to deal with the structural integrity issues that the state requires the condo buildings to go through. And then they had to make the repairs for that. So they had to pay for the reports, and then they had to pay for the repairs that were in the reports. And it was so much, everybody started fleeing. So now Hunters Run is a tale of two communities. Now that I look back on it, it's pretty interesting. So I went back to closed sales, and June was one of the units sold for $1. That's the only one that sold for $1. No other ones sold for even close to $1.
50 cents?
No, meaning most of
higher.
them sold much higher. Right. Most of them sold much higher than $1. And the single family home market is still doing very good over there.
So we're seeing appreciation.
Jim, can you do 3% of $1?
Yeah, right, exactly. But the single family homes, some of these houses closed. Like here's one that closed in January of this year, 1.65 million. It was on the market for 1.65. It got full asking price. It was on the market 0 days. This is in Hunters Run, and it got 1.65 million. So it's interesting to see
international
what's in here. So there have been in Hunters Run a lot of 10,000, 5,000, 15,000 sales for the condos. Okay. These are all like 1,400 square foot condos that are really nice. But between the membership equity and all the fees they got to pay for all the makeup stuff, people are just saying they're out of here and they're getting out.
Something seems really fishy about that 1.5 sale, doesn't it?
No, there's several because because Hunter's Run is a really, I mean, they have a lot of stuff over there. If you like those active communities, they got stuff going on over there. So
Yeah,
it
if you
is
got
a
some
popular.
money you need to like invest. Then
Yeah,
you know.
you got to have some money in order to be there. And what's happening is the people on the condos. That's why I'm calling it a tale of two cities. The people in the single family homes, it looks like they've been insulated from all these problems. Probably because they have enough funds, don't have to worry about it. But the people in the condos and the townhomes, it looks like they were on a much lower budget, and they were in the community because they wanted all those lifestyles, but they couldn't afford the single family home. And then now it just got crazy town on them.
So for some people, it's the good times, and some people the bad times.
So it's a tale
right?
of two cities over
Best of
there.
times.
And the lowest sale besides the $1, the lowest sale besides $1, there was a $10 sale.
Boom.
There was a $10 sale in January of this year. So somebody bought a condo over there for $10.
You know, when you fill out a warranty deed, Jim, you have to put some consideration on there, and you usually see
$10.
like $10 right on the quick claim. You'll see the $10 for $10 of consideration. Here's the.
I wonder what happens with the tax assessment.
What's the max
valuation?
loan amount you can get on $10?
Oh, you can't. Well, listen, I'll loan you $10.
Yeah, can you lend me $10? I want 30 years.
What's the
It's actually a good question. Like, what's the minimum loan you could do for a home purchase? And every lender is kind of
different.
There really is no, like, Fannie and Freddie don't have a minimum loan amount, but lenders will have a minimum loan because it costs money. There's a reason we charge fees, right? Because you basically have overhead and it costs money to do loans, right?
Yeah.
So there's a threshold where the potential profit, like however that's structured in a loan, is less than what it's going to cost you to do it. And so many lenders would be like minimum 100,000, 50,000, 75,000.
Well, also, aren't your kind of fees capped as a percentage, or no? Like if your fixed fees for something are $1,000, like that is just fixed,
right?
And then if the loan amount's too small, those fees are too much,
right? You have to reduce it exactly.
Yeah.
You'd get into high price mortgage loans, so HPML limits. So yeah, there are limits there on what you can charge as a percentage of the loan amount. You run into that too. Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of interesting just to go back. So there was I forgot about this. There was a $10 sale. That's still pretty amazing. Buy a condo for $10, right? And this isn't like some fire damage, destroyed condo. It's in good shape.
What's the equity membership there in Hunter's Run?
Let me see how much.
I mean, is that a huge one? Is it 50,000?
Oh yeah,
100,000?
Yeah. It's
in the annual dues.
Oh, and this was a foreclosure. Oh, Fannie Mae. This is a foreclosure that sold for 10.
Huh.
So Fannie Mae just said, screw it.
Take it.
I'm out of here.
Take it.
I'll pay you $10 to take the unit from me. And they probably would do that.
Or
I would love to do a short sale. I said to the bank, sure, we'll do the short sale with you. All you got to do is give us $50,000 and we'll let you have the house, right?
Yeah.
We'll get rid of the house for you.
That $10 one is probably one. It went up to foreclosure auction. Somebody bought it and didn't do their research and didn't realize there's a $350,000 loan that they're going to have to deal with on that condo.
Yeah,
the unsophisticated investor.
Hope that's not the case.
Yeah.
Jim, we are just about out of here. Can you give me details on that open house that starts here in 2 minutes?
Absolutely. 286 Holly Drive, Palm Beach Gardens. Chris Peterson's going to be there. 6-bedroom, 2-bath, pool home. Palm Beach Gardens, highly rated schools, walking distance. If you're family oriented, looking for a family oriented house neighborhood, that's it. Chris Peterson will be there from 11 to 2.
And we got the park right across the road from it too. I was looking up on Google Maps.
Yeah, it's nice.
All that information on Florida Talk Real Estate Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's got another one tomorrow on Singer Island, a condo with a boat slip. Sounds like this is a wonderful opportunity for someone looking for that lifestyle.
Also, 1030 Sugar Sands Boulevard on Singer Island, 11 to 2. Also, just like today, it'll be 11 to 2 tomorrow. Meet Chris there. Take a look at it. It's got the boat dock. Awesome, brand new everything.
Yeah, and even if you're just like, I'm out and about, let me go check it out, go by Meet Chris. But if it's a property that intrigues you, definitely try to make it through, because it sounds like these are both going to be very much in demand. All the details on Florida Talk Real Estate's Facebook page. Always remember, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com is your access to a team of pros, y'all. I'm talking the best of the best. And when they work so cohesively together, if you've ever had an experience of buying a home, selling a home, or needing one of the pros, you know how things work. Like Mike Rauch, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. You're phenomenal. I hope you have a great weekend.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Ross Komarinetz with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach, also phenomenal. And I hope you have a great weekend as well.
Thanks, man. You too.
Good to see you.
You too.
And Jim DePola. Dude, have a great weekend, my friend. You are amazing, and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, guys. You guys are the ones that are amazing. And thank you, South Florida. Happy South Florida, everybody.
Happy South Florida. Dude, have a great weekend, my brother. Happy
Thank you,
St. Patty's
Johnny.
Day. Happy birthday, my dude.
Thank you very much,
happy
Johnny.
birthday.
You have a great weekend as well, guys.
Locker Room Live at noon?
At noon, yes.
Excellent. We got a little